Hi, I'm Spiritual Sojourns, and I want to share something with you. Sometimes being alone feels safer, not because you don't want love, but because love asks you to be seen. And for some people, being seen feels more dangerous than being abandoned. Because when you're alone, you can control the environment, you can control the silence, you can control how much of yourself gets exposed. But love walks into the room and starts touching the parts of you that you thought you had hidden well. The truth is, some people are not afraid of love because love is bad. They're afraid of love because love requires them to stop surviving long enough to actually receive. And that is where the real healing begins. Let's get into it. One reason love can feel scarier than being alone is because being alone feels controllable. When it's just you know what to expect. You know your patterns. You know your moods. You know how to protect your peace. Nobody is close enough to disappoint you. Nobody is close enough to trigger you. Nobody is close enough to make you wonder if they are going to stay. Being alone can become a safe little kingdom. But here's the problem. Sometimes the peace you're protecting is not true peace. Sometimes it's just isolation dressed up as self-control, and love challenges that. Love says, I'm not here to take your peace. I'm here to show you where fear has been pretending to be peace. Love can feel scary because love requires vulnerability. And vulnerability is not just saying, I like you. Vulnerability is letting someone see the parts of you that don't have the perfect emotional armor. It's letting someone see that you still get scared, that you still overthink, that you still wonder if you are too much or not enough. And that can feel terrifying when you have spent years being strong, because when you are used to surviving, softness can feel suspicious. You may think, why do I feel unsafe when nothing bad is happening? Because your nervous system may not recognize peace yet. It recognizes patterns, and if chaos was familiar, calm love can feel foreign. Let's be honest, sometimes safe love feels boring when your spirit has been trained by chaos. If you have spent years around inconsistent people, mixed signals, emotional highs and lows, or love that made you earn affection, then healthy love may not feel exciting at first. It may feel too calm, too quiet, too steady. And because there is no emotional roller coaster, you may confuse peace with lack of chemistry. But sometimes what you call chemistry was really anxiety. Sometimes the butterflies were not romance. They were your intuition, begging you to pay attention. Real love does not always arrive like thunder. Sometimes it arrives like calm water, and when your soul has been living in survival mode, calm can feel unfamiliar. Another reason love can feel scarier than being alone is because you may fear losing yourself. Maybe in the past, love required you to shrink. Maybe you had to overgive, overexplain, or become the version that made someone else comfortable. So now, when love shows up, a part of you whispers, be careful. Last time you disappeared, and that fear is valid. But here's the higher truth. Real love does not require you to abandon yourself. Real love does not ask you to become smaller so someone else can feel bigger. Healthy love should expand you, not erase you. So the lesson is not to avoid love. The lesson is to stop calling self-abandonment love. Love can feel scary when you are used to proving your worth. Some people were taught that love has to be earned through performance. Be useful, be available, be perfect. Be low maintenance, be understanding, be strong, be everything. And after a while, you start believing that people only stay when you are valuable to them. So when someone loves you without demanding that you perform, it can feel uncomfortable. You may question it, test it, push against it, wait for the hidden cost, because receiving love without begging for it feels strange when you have always had to audition for affection. But love that is truly aligned does not require you to bleed just to prove you are worthy. You were worthy before you started performing. Another reason love can feel scary is because consistency can feel unfamiliar. When someone shows up regularly, communicates clearly, keeps their word, and does not make you chase them, a wounded part of you may not know what to do with that. You may start looking for the catch. You may start creating distance. You may start wondering, why are they being so consistent? And that question reveals something deep, because when inconsistency has been normalized, consistency can feel suspicious, but consistency is not a trap. Consistency is one of the ways emotional safety introduces itself. The right love will not make you decode every message. It will not make you beg for basic respect. It will not make you feel like peace is too much to ask for. Love can feel scarier than being alone because love has a way of exposing what you still hide. not in a cruel way, in a revealing way. Real love becomes a mirror. It shows you where you still don't trust, where you still protect, where you still expect rejection, where you still punish the present for the past. And that is why some people run from love, even when love is healthy. Because healthy love does not just comfort you, it confronts the walls you built when you had no other choice. But the wall that once protected you can eventually become the wall that imprisons you. At some point, healing asks you this question: are you safe, or are you just hidden? The spiritual lesson is this: love is not here to trap you. Love is here to reveal you. Not the version of you that performs, not the version of you that hides, not the version of you that pretends to be unbothered while secretly craving softness. Real love reveals the part of you that is ready to stop fighting every good thing that tries to enter your life. But understand this: healing does not mean you ignore red flags. Healing does not mean you hand your heart to people who have not earned access. Healing means you learn the difference between intuition and fear. Intuition says something is not aligned. Fear says this feels unfamiliar, so it must be dangerous. And your next level requires discernment. Because not every fear is a warning. Sometimes fear is just the old version of you panicking because the new version of you is finally being loved correctly. So if love feels scarier than being alone, don't shame yourself. Ask yourself what part of you learned that closeness was dangerous. Ask yourself what part of you believes love will cost you your freedom, your peace, or your identity. Because the goal is not to force yourself to open before you feel safe. The goal is to heal enough to recognize when safety is actually standing in front of you. You are allowed to be loved without losing yourself. You are allowed to be seen without being judged. You are allowed to receive without performing. And you are allowed to experience a love that does not feel like survival. Move with clarity. Move with integrity. Move like the universe is listening. Because it is. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, keep elevating.